yes.
according to the Borno state government, that these girls were lured, you know, by these people who pretended to be security operatives. Am I correct?
Yes.
The question will be, at what point did the school get burnt? Because we also understand...
Immediately they loaded the girls into the trucks. The next thing they did was to burn the schools.
Was that when they were, sorry, Sulaiman, was that when they were put on alert that this, because we understand that the principal did say that she had made a mistake. Was she present then when the girls were loaded onto
Well, if the principal were here, maybe it will be my word to her word. But she told us the correct thing. Wait a minute. They had been abducted, and the school was burnt. Simple. We're not having any forensic evidence in this place. We're just telling you this is the position. If someone else has another story, as they have been creating stories, then let the person say so. But the truth of the matter is that we are the people on ground. Chibok is in Borno State. It is not in Lagos. Chibok is not in Bayelsa.
That's why I'm happy you're here, and that's why I'm even surprised at this letter. And if you say you wrote this letter to the police, and it's quite detailed because you went back to say that last year, the WAEC exams suffered a setback due to the activities of Boko Haram. So many people didn't write their exams. Some were afraid and they wrote their exams in haste. Yes. So you had to put this letter on the 20th of March to the police commissioner of Borno State in good time. Yes. So what did the police do?
That is, ask them.
No, did they get back to you?
Ask the police. No. I don't supervise the police. The governor does not supervise the police. That's why we wrote them.
No, but Ambassador, we'll come back.
If I were the one to do the work, maybe the governor would just direct me. SSG, go to Chibok and do this. But this is Commissioner of Police. He reports to the Inspector General of Police, who also reports to the Commander-in-Chief. So we wrote him. So if he needed anything, he would be the one to come back to the governor and say, I have got this letter, I need this support, I need that support, and we would have offered that to him.
But Ambassador,
we have already done that. Yeah.
Part of the question also is, if all this correspondence making the rounds from the supervising Minister of Education, then you also wrote to the police indicating the challenge of security, preventing girls, and then exams from going on. The federal government colleges were shut at the time. Why did Borno State government leave the school open for exams if you knew that there was a challenge? If you had written to the police, no security had been provided.
Federal government colleges. These schools were open for purposes of exam.
No, I mean
the full knowledge of WAEC. No, wait.
Before this exam.
The full knowledge of WAEC.
My point is this.
Were identified and directed to open for purposes of exam. So the security agency was supposed to provide security.
We're supposed to. So if they had not provided, and the state knows that there's a challenge with security, and the state had written to the police, there had been no response. Was it wise to allow the exams?
The responsibility of the police to come back and say, look, we cannot do this because of ABC. So what the state government would do, they would do. What so the state government, they refer to the, no, wait a minute.
Did the state government assume that they were going to provide security and as such let the exams go on?
It's not a question of assumption, it's a question of responsibility. It's not, you see, it's not a question of assumption. There are no hypotheses here.
Okay, so
government operates on a structure. Government operates by rules and regulations. We don't assume, we don't, shift blame and so on. We are all government, federal government, state government, local. We are operating as government, not as individuals, not on sentiments, not on insinuations. We are working on reality as per rules and regulations. This government is not a kangaroo government. It's a government that works and guided by a constitution. So we are following the constitution. The Constitution gives the maintenance of law and order, the issue of internal security, to the police.
Ambassador, we really do not want you to be on the defensive, because to be honest, this is the first time that we're getting an account from the Borno State government on our station.
Thank you.
So as much as possible, what we're seeking is clarification.
Yes.
We've heard all sorts of stories, all manners of versions, and some of them just don't fit.
Exactly.
So as much as possible, what we're asking for is a straight story from the Borno State government, so we can hold that and say this is the account of the Borno State government.
That's exactly what we're doing. If you have anything that is contrary to what our position is as government, then let me know.
So as much as possible, sorry Chamberlain to interrupt you, I'm trying to get the version of the Borno State government as regards what happened on the 14th of April this year. You say that the student or the principal was hoodwinked into believing that these people were
Not the
good
principal,
people.
the students.
The students?
Yeah.
Oh, so the principal wasn't around? There was no authority?
Yeah, the principals live outside the school. They don't live with the girls.
Understandably so. But the thing is, who was there with the students? Who was the authority with them, authority figure with them on the night they were kidnapped?
Literally, they were on their own because it was night, and the principal and teachers live outside the dormitories of the students, and there were probably 2 or so security men, and they came in. That is what we're saying.
Is that still
it
the
is
case?
not as if the principal was just there waiting for Boko Haram.
There were no dorm
is that still the
mistresses?
case?
They don't live with the students.
They don't have dorm mistresses who live with them?
I don't. You mean what?
They usually, in dormitories, they usually have
The
dorm
school
mistresses who
teachers and principal have staff quarters, but outside the dormitories, outside the main premises of the school. You know, it happens in all schools. You know it, that our principals, our teachers, and so on have their staff quarters fairly detached from the main dormitory area, residential area of the students.
You know, back to this letter, Ambassador Jide, when the police didn't act on this letter, what did you do? You just sat by?
How do we know that they didn't act?
Did you have a reporting system, say for instance, where you
have
had
to come back to us that yes, we have received this letter, and we are ready to do this, but this is our constraint.
Yes,
If
because it's not the first day of the exams. You should have known that, well, all of these details you put here, that you want provision of 3 pickup vehicles to convey security men through these routes, which you spelled out: Maiduguri Biu daily, Maiduguri Auno daily, and Maiduguri to Askira Lassa Chibok twice a week. If it's not been done from the first day they started the examination, then you should have been able to do put in place an alternative security measure for the people, for the students.
Let me enlighten you. This letter is on the basis of the letter we received from the coordinator, Mr. Gaya,
of the West African Examination Council.
He requested for these things, and we wrote the commissioner on his behalf. We wrote the commissioner of police to assist, and we also do our own part.
Because I wouldn't leave my child. I'm a father. I wouldn't leave my child when someone tells me that he can't protect my child for me. Maybe I have a night watch or a driver that's supposed to go pick up my child, and he says, "Okay, I can't go. I will go myself."
Your child would be in London somewhere, or maybe in...
No. Let's not trivialize this. If someone tells you he can't protect your children, then you should be able to move.
Who is this someone? Is it
the police? No, you said the police couldn't do anything when you wrote it.
That's what I'm telling you. There's hierarchy. In governance, there are rules and regulations. The governor of Borno does not control the police, even constitutionally. So he has to tell the person whose constitutional responsibility it is to provide security.